Crisp air, damp with dead leaves and witch hazel, slipped through the cracked window. Cole pinched a Marlboro between his lips, the cigarette lighter clicking warm against his fingertips. The fly from McIntyre's hog farm battered the glass, stubborn, entrapped. The lighter popped. Cole's Marlboro sparked orange, and he inhaled deep, smoke and memory hitting together. Cole saw only her bare legs from the headlights, toned calves and high heels. The brakes on the old Chevy squeaked to a slow stop. She opened the car door and slipped in, skirt wavering and resting on her thighs, lipstick red and ready. 20 years old? Christ.
I tried to call you before you left, but just got your machine.
She touched the top of Cole's hand with painted fingernails. Yeah?
Left a message. You'll have to listen to it later.
Giggle. Yeah. The car pulled back onto the road. Cole took another drag and blew it out the window. The scent of blooming witch hazel in the surrounding pastures brought him back to the past for a second. He recalled playing ball in his father's fields, at first with a playmate, but later alone, hitting the ball as far as he could, the stitched leather plowing through the short corn stalks.
Your lecture the other day about genes and eye color, I didn't get enough notes.
Don't talk about that. The girl moved her hands back between her knees and her chin fell slightly.
Okay, sorry.
The fly buzzed around Cole's ear. It landed.
We still going to Pinelli's?
Yeah, Sarah, we are. A pair of high headlights came from the other direction on the two-lane highway, super bright.
I want this to be more than just sneaking around, Mr. Sims. Cole.
He flinched at the mister. The title felt heavier than the cigarette smoke in his chest. His stomach coiled. Too late to fix this. Too late to be anything but what he already was. The lights were wrong. They were on the wrong side of the road. Me too. Cole tried to swerve, but so did the semi-truck, same direction. The deafening sound of metal bending and contorting, a quick pulse of pain from the leg, a rush of liquid in the throat, then blackness. Ag carpet flowed between Cole's bare toes. A pixelated 8-bit figure of a man swung on a rope on the 13-inch TV in front of him. Cole instinctively used the controller in his hand. He pushed that lone red button to release the man's grip on the rope at just the right time to land safely on the other side of the pit. There was slight laughter to his left, a spurt of air and saliva through crooked teeth. She sat there in the old living room, on that worn rug with the dog chasing the ducks, holding the other Atari controller in her little hands. Those were her skinned knees and her pigtails, chocolate chip cookie stain on the side of her cheek. Mixie? Yeah? Did I die? I don't know. But you're dead. Yeah, I guess. So I am too now? Cole couldn't see himself very well. His hands seemed smaller. It seemed easier to sit cross-legged on the floor than he imagined it would. He couldn't remember the last time he sat cross-legged on a floor. You're gonna be if you don't make this jump. The misshapen guy in the video game ran right into the next pit, consumed by the bobbing alligators within. The game made that melodic, 3-note death announcement. Crap. Mama will smack your mouth for that. Mixie breathed out. A real breath. You got old, Cole. Her hand came up towards his widow's peak, but he did not feel the touch. No shit, Sherlock. Cole thought that he had heard his mother yell his name from the kitchen, first and last name, but the rest of the room and doorways were fuzzy. The sound of the yell came from within. You're the last firings of the neurons in my brain. All brain activity has moved to the prefrontal cortex to aid in the transition to death. I'm talking to myself. Mixie twisted her wrist a few times and bit into her lip as she attempted to maneuver her character through the pitfalls of pitfall. You learned that in college? What, the death throes of the brain? Yes. This dream will all just eventually fade to black and I'll end. You ever become a doctor? No. Why not? Turns out I wasn't as smart as I thought. Cole looked for the wounds on Mixie's wrists, the large gashes that would most assuredly still exist, even on the wrists of a ghost. There were none. There was just youthful skin on top of unbroken blood vessels. "You wanted to kill those kids that were mean to me, didn't you?" She said it to the TV more than Cole. Her gaze still reflected the primary colors reflecting from the glass. "After, yes. You shouldn't have wanted to." Cole stared at his hands on his lap. They didn't seem like his hands. They were young and hairless. None of the scars were on his hands either. No knife accident in second grade. No broken pinky finger in high school. No early onset arthritis. He picked up one of the Atari cartridges in front of his foot. The cover art included a single man among dragons and castles. He couldn't feel it.
Want to play adventure?
Yeah. The game and the living room changed. It was outdoors with bright sunlight. No warmth, but no cold either. Cole held the leather grips of his old wooden baseball bat in his right hand. The barrel drug behind him in the ankle-high milkweed and dusty dirt beneath. Bare feet again. "You gonna get around to picking those rocks?" Cole stared into the light of the sun. A broad man wearing suspenders and a John Deere cap broke through the illumination. The man pulled a dry piece of grass from the grip between his teeth and spit on the ground. The gristle and stubble on his cheeks and neck wobbled with the action. "You hear me, boy?" Yeah, I did, Pop." The baseball was in his hand. Cole hadn't noticed it before. The stitches were ripped and tearing at the finger places of a curveball. He dropped it on the ground. It didn't make a sound. "You and your mama have to get going to church." Cole's father became more visible, more whole. He stood some 10 feet away. Between was a wall of milkweed and thistles. "How come you never come to church with us anymore?" Cole's father looked at him, really looked at him. The man chewed on the inside of his cheeks for a few minutes. The sweat from his brow dripped down to his already wet t-shirt. "It ain't for me." The sun brightened, almost blinding. Cole's father moved backwards, or faded away. Either way, he disappeared. "Now go get them rocks and put them on the flat rack." Cole was alone in the field. He picked his baseball up from the dirt, but it wasn't a baseball anymore. He held an almost perfectly round rock in his hand. Cole threw the stone in the air and hit it with his bat. It thunked hard on the wood, only moving forward a little way. The vibration of the hit made Cole's wrists hurt. A sensation. The rock came to a stop at the base of the lone tree in the middle of the field. That oak. The one that Pop had been too lazy to cut down when he cleared the land for the field. The one that Cole and Mixie had played on as children. An oasis. The remnants of that failed treehouse still stuck to the bottommost branch by a few rusty nails. Cole bent over to pick up the rock. That stain still on there on the root of that oak. The dark marking the crevices of the exposed tree root, branching out like a web. That last viscous drop of fluid dripping down the edge of her hand to the tree. Pastor Lyle cleared his throat. The obnoxious sound of infants crying and seniors murmuring ceased. The ceiling fan above the congregation spun slowly, the blades not disrupting the view to the top of the steepled room. Mama sat next to Cole in the pew. She was perfectly polished and groomed. Hairspray held that graying hair to the texture of concrete. A rosy, flowery scent emanated from every pore on her skin. Both hands firmly grasped the Bible on her lap. The pastor said some words. Cole just stared at Mama. "Mark Gustafson says she's in hell." "Mark Gustafson is a fool." Cole remembered the way Mama had said the word fool. The inflection of her voice brought the tension of stone. The wrinkles around her eyes became furrows. Mama turned her attention back to the pastor and smiled. "She is in heaven with your grandfather." Cole saw heaven for a second. People sitting on clouds. Angels playing trumpets. "I don't think I believe in all that." Mama slapped Cole's hand. Cole felt that. You want to be a slug, a bug, all those things that crawl on the ground? You can. Them things don't believe in all that either. It's up to you. Cole imagined that for a moment. He lay on his stomach amidst a heavy rain, slithering in the mud and bog. Alongside him squirmed a giant slug. Slime came within inches of his cheek. A scarab let a pile of excrement out its anus in Cole's way. There was no way to avoid it. It mixed with water and became filth, easier to slide through. The only thing you're going to see and smell is you know what. The pastor said something funny. The congregation laughed. Even Mama. Mama didn't cry. Not past that first day. The Smiths left that spot to the left of Mama. That spot was empty and always would be. Mama didn't even put her coat or scarf on that spot of pew. It's not right, what Mixie did. The best thing I got for you, baby, is the words of Solomon. This too shall pass. It's not enough. Mama put her hand on Cole's knee. He felt a tingle from somewhere. The other hand stayed stoically on the Bible, patting it lightly. Ain't nothing in here that says life will be happy or fun. There's a lot about peace, though. The fan above stopped. Pastor Lyle stopped his sermon. All the congregation turned to face Cole, their eyes drawn dry in anticipation. The babies cried again. The seniors murmured, "What do you want to be, Cole?" That hard, sloshing sound of a joystick being pushed and pulled on its bearings convinced Cole to inhale, though he had not noticed doing so before. For the first time, he craved a cigarette. What? God mode, in adventure. The TV screen displayed 2D Adventure Man standing in front of a 20-pixel-wide wall. On the other side of the wall was the chalice, the object of the quest, that golden trinket, the end of the game, that thing Cole had never been able to obtain as a child. There was no door. There's a way to get to the chalice without going through the whole castle. Mixie set the controller down next to Cole's bare toes. His toes had hair on them now. They were old toes, mangled and rough. Up, down, right. The bangs of her hair fell down over her forehead. Her eyes were covered. Look at. Mixie slowly made the motions with her empty hands. Her hands left behind a trail of light with each movement. Up, down, right. Did you see it? Cole picked up the controller. His thumb glanced over that one lone red button. The arthritis in his right pointer and ring finger prevented him from bending them. His breathing became shallow. I can't do it, Mixie. You were always better at this than I was. You do it for me. Cole pushed the controller back over to Mixie. Mixie pushed it back. It rolled. The cord wrapped on the joystick. No, you do it. I can't. Cole would have cried. He remembered crying, tears flowing down his eyes in frustration. He had no more tears to cry. Or he didn't have eyes. He didn't know which. Do it, Cole. The cord was frayed, copper exposed where the cord entered the controller. It was loose, about ready to separate. Cole picked up the controller. His thumbs twitched. What if I lose? Then play again. Cole forced his fingers around the joystick. He held the base tightly. Up, down, right. Cole felt his heart race. It pumped up into his throat. He hoped and prayed it was fast enough. The door to the secret room opened in the game. The wall dissolved. Adventure Man walked to the chalice. The music in the game sprang to life. A melody of chirpy high notes in rhythm. Cole smiled. The light in the living room faded. The TV went to gray. The Atari disappeared. The feel of the carpet on his feet went away. All feeling went away. A curtain of black came before him, pixel by pixel, replaced like a slow modem loading nothingness. Mixie, I don't want to die. Mixie was gone. Only the voice remained, trailing. Maybe you're right, Cole. Maybe you're wrong. Which one you want to be? Pain. The red and blue strobes of the ambulance lit the night sky. The stars up there in perfect clarity. The moon. Full. A hand came up to Cole's mouth and replaced some plastic thing that had been over his mouth. The other hands around his body put some metallic paddles back in a box that covered his right hand. Smells. There were a variety of smells that flowed up Cole's nostrils. Copper, paper, saline. The living room was gone. Childhood gone. Replaced by cold. A heavy blanket pulled over his bare chest. A strange sound to his left. The monitor on the left edge of the gurney sang. A black screen with a green line dancing forward. Mr. Sims, we got you back. Can you hear me? Are you all right? Cole smiled. His lips parted. A bit of blood dribbled down the edge of his mouth. He tasted copper. Real. Raw. Alive. Up, down, right,